Hello. So, I got hacked. Crazy. I didn't know this was a thing that can happen. And all right, I've kind of accepted that at some point I share things so openly and so often on YouTube that at some point somebody with bad intentions is going to harm me in some way. And that's just absolutely inevitable. That's just how the world works. I have a very positive worldview and I have faith in humanity, but I'm also realistic and I know that, there's a bunch of fucking assholes out there. Anyway, so what happened? Well, I logged into my Walmart account and there was an order that I didn't place. Crazy, right? So my understanding of what this is that it is possible that somebody watching one of these videos found some of my personal information and found some loophole and that kind of thing, but I really don't think that's what's happened in this scenario. I think what the situation here is that I've left gift cards in my Walmart account, right? And so that means that if someone accesses my Walmart account, they can use however many gift cards I currently have on the account to make a purchase without knowing any other information about me. They don't need to know a billing address or a security code like with credit cards, right? And so if you look here, this is what the person did. They got access into my account and they tried to buy this graphics card, okay? So they put it in their cart and they set up, this isn't the address they used, they set up an address with a freight forwarding service, which kind of anonymizes it. So it could have, that freight forward service, when this package arrives at them, they could then send it somewhere in the US or somewhere internationally. From that point, it could literally go to anywhere in the world, right? And so what happened is they got this, and then there was enough money in these available gift cards here for them to make this purchase, okay? What's funny is I actually had about $500 of available gift cards for them to purchase, and they only used like 230 bucks, right? So they just clicked one and clicked order, okay? And the way that this works, and as far as my understanding, is that like with companies like Walmart, they are so huge, and I guarantee you that they do not have the best digital like security practices when it comes to people's information. And one of the reasons I know this is because I have a decent amount of software experience, and generally when it comes to passwords, password length is the single most important thing that makes a secure password. It doesn't matter what characters, what words, all that it boils down to is password length. Because if you have a 20-character password, it just takes exponentially longer to hack that password than it does with a 10-character password. It's just math. It's mathematics, right? And so what you can do as a hacker is all you need to do is find a way to keep trying new passwords, right? And so what a lot of places will do is they will set up a kind of, what's the word? Like what Walmart might do in order to prevent people from just trying a password over and over and over and over and over and over again is that they will make it so that, okay, you can only try 5 times from this one IP address, right? Or something like that. And I don't even know if Walmart has that feature. Let's check it out, right? So we're going to go to walmart.com. And the thing we're going to do is see if we can get locked out of my account by trying to enter a password wrong enough times, right? So we're just going to keep doing this. See what happens. Because if there is no failsafe, which I wouldn't be surprised considering Walmart doesn't have much experience with digital stuff, we could theoretically just keep doing this forever. And if that's true, then the reality is, oh, there we go. Look at that. Okay, so my account has been temporarily locked due to too many failed sign-in attempts. So now what's happened is Walmart has been like, oh, okay, this computer's IP address has tried to sign in this many times, or maybe it's this email address that they know is like, oh, okay, somebody's tried to sign into this email address this many times. So as a hacker, theoretically, Walmart can say, oh, you can't do that because we have this fail-safe in place. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit inconvenient, but the reality is now I just have to find a way around this. And that really depends on what Walmart does as their fail-safe. Because if it's looking at this Gmail address, it's not as easy. But if they're looking at my IP address, I can just send 5 attempts from one IP address, change my IP address, change it, and try again. And I wouldn't manually be doing this. What you would have is software that's literally just trying every possible 3-character password, every possible 4-character password over and over and over again. Because once you can find software workarounds for this, you can just have it. It's literally just a matter of time, right? So it's also possible that my email address, which I've made public, I've shared with people. You know, in the past, I used a short default password, which is what this one is. I've since used a string of passwords that makes it more complicated. It's like, that's like what my password usually looks like now. But what's also possible is that there are databases online that share people's private information that has been hacked from like a server or that kind of thing. So if you know where to go, you can find a list of email addresses and associated passwords that have been kind of leaked or hacked with that email address. So if the person uses a generic password for most of their accounts, you can find like a list of like, okay, for this email address, here's the associated passwords that have been leaked at some point in history, right? Because you can find, there's a website, when have I been hacked? What is it? There's a website, oh, have I been pwned? Okay, cool. So what happens is hackers will go into databases, they'll go into servers and just get lists of all of their public information. Once that happens then your information, technically you have to change it because somebody could technically access it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at, here we go. We're going to look at my email address, jackdermotpittman@gmail.com, and we're going to see how many times this email address has been a victim of some hacking, right? Domain name, what? Oh, wait, no, how do I do it? Home? Oh, here we go. jackdermotpittman@gmail.com. So how many times? It's going to be like at least 10, I guarantee. Oh, so 2 times. Okay, so at one point, Patreon was breached. So this means that technically it's possible that anybody, a hacker, has access, because this information, so at one point Patreon got hacked and all of their account information got sold. You know what I mean? So that means they got my email address and they could have got my password as well. Okay? So this is sorry, just I'm kind of loosely talking to you about internet security and like I only know a tiny fraction. This is a whole world, right? And it's kind of inevitable that you're going to encounter issues with this kind of stuff at some point. But so what happened and how did I respond to it? Well, I found the order only 6 hours after it had been placed, and it was also placed on a Sunday. So basically, if I had taken a bit too long, then the order would have already shipped out. I would have then had to contact FedEx and have them tell them that it's an order of fraud and that they could stop it before it gets delivered. But if I wasn't able to stop it before it got delivered, the second it's delivered, it's too late. That money's gone, right? But I got lucky and I was able to get this money back. So how do you protect yourself from this kind of stuff? Well, one, using Walmart, okay, first off, they have a 12-character limit on the length of their passwords. When it comes to passwords, any service, anywhere, there is no reason to put a 12-character maximum. That means that guaranteed your passwords are easier to hack. You want like 20, 24, 30-character passwords. Those are the much more secure passwords, right? So that being said, we can't change the fact that Walmart only allows for up to 12 characters. So what methods can we put in place? Well, there's 2 other things. One, you need to change your password on a regular basis, every 2 weeks or every month, and do not use old passwords. Make new passwords each time and have them written down somewhere in a physical location, because the reality is that anywhere digital is accessible. And you can think, oh no, you know, my grandmother, she's going to come in and she's going to see my password on the wall and she's going to use it to take all my shit. I mean, I guess that's possible, but you're talking about the chance of one individual out of the whole population interacting with something. Whereas when it's on a computer, hundreds of thousands of people could potentially access it, even if you think it's secure, simply because it's linked to the internet, right? So often having it written down somewhere where it's not digital is actually the safest place for your passwords, okay? So what else can we do? So one, change the password on a regular basis. Two, well, what happened here is that I had gift cards saved into my account, and as you can see, I have $97 right now. So the same thing could happen. And this depends if Walmart just has some security breach that makes it easy to access accounts, then I'm still in a liable situation because I have this money right here that could be used. Or it's possible that somebody individually targeted me and got my password, right? That's also another possibility. In that case, it doesn't really matter what I have in here. But obviously, you want to make sure that you don't have too many gift cards in your account at once. Walmart limits you so you can only have 5, which is fine. But the reality is you want to have as little as possible at once. So only add 1 at a time, okay? Aside from that, there's not really a whole lot else you can do. I mean, you should be sensitive with your information. Obviously, I share stuff that I should not share, and that's kind of a personality trait. I have a tendency to just throw myself into situations, and then I like learning and seeing, okay, is what people think true? Will I get hurt by openly sharing everything, or is it actually going to bring me more positive than good? And I believe it's going to bring me more positive, but I'm not an idiot. I know that there's going to be some consequences of how open I am about everything that I do, and my email address and all that. Like, I've openly shared stuff that most of the time you do not want to share, okay? This video went on a little bit too long, but I hope it was educational and I talked to you a bit about the realities of the internet. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.